What a glorious day it is outside. I couldn't fathom making this video on this topic cooped up in my studio, so I'm going to give it to you right now. The title of this video is Lifting for the Future of Humanity, and it seems very dramatic, and quite possibly is. However, the content that I'm going to show you guys is something that has really been my North Star as of late, and I really think it could change your life. Lifting for the future of humanity. This is what I mean by it. Bear with me here. Okay, ready? Let's go.
If this life is all you've got, why would you make it unpleasant? Why would you make it difficult? Why would you make it hard?
Because there's something eating at your soul. Because there's a worm inside your body whittling you out from the inside, causing you to die a little bit more every day. You think you're going to die at age 90? No, that's the final death. I told my grandfather, I said, there's a last time you do everything and you don't realize when that is. You know, I crossed the Great Himalayan Range when I was 20 or something on foot. And I thought I would be doing it regularly. That may be the only time I ever crossed the Great Himalayan Range on foot. My ankle now isn't as good as it used to be. Think about the last time you went backpacking and actually slept out under the stars. For all I know, that part of you is already dead. Now figure out how much death you can actually handle in a living body. And figure out, maybe you want to reclaim some of that.
For me, this clip encapsulates why anyone pursues or should pursue hard training. There is so much meaning in reclaiming the things that you didn't even know were possible, the things that you're not even currently doing. These things that will eventually die unless you reclaim them. Suicide rates, obesity rates, and inactivity among the global population is steadily rising. In a new Lancet study, we have now found that for the first time in the history of human beings, that obesity is more of a global health problem than hunger. 1 out of every 8 humans that walks the earth is now obese. That means that population has finally reached over 1 billion people. These statistics for me provide grounds to believe that there's some sort of multivariate problem that is much deeper than a simple one thing is wrong here, one thing is wrong there, one thing is wrong there, and we need to solve those things. And because of this clip, and because of what I've thought a lot about lately, it really is meaning and purpose. Now, this video isn't as simple or as dense to say, you should lift weights and you'll find meaning. In fact, the examples that Eric Weinstein uses aren't necessarily of that ilk. But if we look at the simple question that the interviewer asks, the answer is, if you do hard things, you will find meaning. However, I believe there needs to be a very simple caveat to this, and that is, these hard things should be easy.
There was a woman in a Doors documentary who said the words, back then we didn't realize it was just music. I can't tell you how profound that was to me. The idea was she later realized it was just music. But for a period of time, she was able to attach that feeling of meaning, of transcendence, of permanence, of something, to something she was experiencing at the Whiskey A Go-Go on the Sunset Strip.
Go through this exercise with me. We're going to do a little bit of imagination. I imagine that this woman found nothing but ease in following the Doors, which is a wonderful classic rock band. However, I imagine aspects of her life were potentially much more difficult than other people's lives because of her pursuit of this thing. So in her case, let's say she's paycheck to paycheck. There's a lot of people out there, I'm sure a lot of you out there are paycheck to paycheck. I imagine life is not that easy for that person. Her life was hard, but it was also easy. And at the same time, she found meaning. She attached meaning to something so silly to the average person. Someone might say, you could hear Light My Fire on the radio. You know, you don't have to go follow the Doors around. It's not all about music. I can get this, blah, blah, blah. And so I look at myself and I think, well, weightlifting, lifting of weights, fitness, is also something that's very meaningless to a lot of people. It's what they do at the back end of their day. However, I have found meaning through that thing. Guys, this isn't to demonize your 9-to-5 worker. In fact, if somebody can find meaning in working a 9-to-5 job, raising a family, climbing the ranks at their job. Amazing, wonderful. But if that's what everyone's pursuing, I think somehow meaning has slipped through the cracks. And we see now 1 billion people are obese. We see all of these previous statistics I mentioned are going up, trending in a bad direction. So this idea that we need to follow all of these different things and we can search for meaning at a later time, it's killing us. There's also the problem of political corruption, misaligned government spending, societal issues as a whole that are preventing people from ever going out and searching for meaning. That stuff exists, and I won't discredit that. But I do believe that you can understand that those things exist and still search for something. Search for that hard thing that you enjoy doing so much that it's easy. And vice versa. It can be easy for you because you enjoy it, and then you increase your capacity to do more in that thing and make it hard. This is a metaphor for strength training. This is a metaphor for fitness. This is a metaphor for Olympic weightlifting. This is exactly what I found. I found it on accident. I walked into a gym, I saw people doing CrossFit, and I saw them doing Olympic weightlifting. And at the tender age of 23, I started this journey. Over the next decade, I would obsess over this. I worked different jobs, internships. I offered free coaching and then nominal pricing to coaching just to get by. And what I slowly realized was weightlifting had rooted itself into the foundation of my life, the meaning, and then I was able to build out and do other things. So then I started this YouTube channel. I had a successful coaching business after a while. I made incredible friends that I will have for the rest of my life. I coached seminars worldwide. I traveled all across the world. I made a living all because I was obsessed with this thing and I allowed it to provide me with meaning. And for that woman who said that we didn't know back then that it was all about the music, here I am 10 years later saying the same thing but about lifting. I didn't realize, but at the time it was all about lifting. I mean, don't you see how incredible that is? Attaching meaning to what most would consider meaningless and then pushing yourself to make that meaningful thing hard is the answer. So when I say the title for this video is Lifting for Humanity's Future, I simply mean finding meaning for humanity's future. That meaning can certainly come from the gym and from your own personal endeavors, but it can also come from pushing yourself in so many different directions. So I believe that you should do the hard thing and reclaim the part of you that may die off before it's too late.